Well, thank you everyone for coming along to the session. If you've got any questions, say do pop them in the chat, and we'll probably pick them up at the end. But if there's anything immediate, we can pick it up as we go. I'm going to fire a few questions at you, so please do engage if you can. It'd be really good to sort of get your views on a few things. So this is, which one's this? Is this, are we on 4 now? Is this number 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, the 4th session, and we're looking at social value. So what is social value? It's a term that gets used quite a lot. So just want to give you a bit of insight to what it means and what we can do as a business and as individuals. So just kind of framing this around the behaviours and the sustainability strategy, the ones that are not shaded out are the behaviours that fit nicely alongside social value. So we're looking at things like the smarter food choices, greening your finances, connecting with nature, and getting involved and volunteering. All of those things help to support what we're doing around social value. And when we're looking at our strategy pillars on sustainability, obviously this sits squarely in the middle of what we want to do around social value. So I have said the word social value several times already, but what is it that we actually mean by social value? Do you want to just pop a few things in the chat? So hear the term social value. What kind of things spring to mind? There's no right or wrong answers to this. What kind of things do you think of? Give you all time to have a little bit of a think. Adding to the community, yeah. Ways of giving back, community support, volunteering, how we add value, giving back. Something you do that has benefits to others, yeah, all great stuff. What we can bring to each other, yeah. Providing jobs, great one, James. Caring for the environment, excellent. Supporting, I'm not quite sure what that was supposed to be there, Mark. Supporting local areas, there we go. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, all of those things are what we describe when we talk about social value. So there's a number of the things that you said there. It's all about that community engagement, giving something back, spending locally, getting involved in supporting the local people, the local communities. One of the good ways to look at social value is that if you've got £1 to spend to deliver a service, how can that £1 be spent to also produce a wider benefit to the community? So, for example, you could, if you're going to go out for a meal, you might decide that, oh, let's go into London, because they've got lots of choices there, and we'll go and have a nice meal at a chain restaurant, and that'll be good. And that £1 that you spend will help to provide jobs to people who are working at that restaurant, go towards the business tax and what have you. But actually, you could think, well, I'm not going to go into London. I'm going to go and use a local restaurant, independent restaurant down the road from me, and I'm going to have a meal there. It's really nice, and by doing that local restaurant may well be employing a lot more local people and using a lot of other local services. So they might be buying their veg from the local greengrocer and their meat from the local butcher. They might have used local tradespeople to help fit out their restaurant when they opened, and they might be using other local services as well. So actually that £1 that you've spent, or probably a few more than £1 that you spent at that local restaurant, would have had a much bigger benefit as that pound gets recycled back into the community, and your community as well, back into the local community. So that provides additional value from that service. Another way to think about social value is essentially sustainability through a local lens. So it's looking again at the people, planet, profit aspects, the economy, social side, and the environment. So it's thinking about how we spend money locally, employ local people, increase work experience, and help to improve skills. It's around how we can actually bring communities together as well, especially if that's a diverse community, whether ethnically diverse, or it could be age diverse as well. And also looking at that charitable giving and volunteering aspects. And then also on environmental side, quite often we talk about environment, we talk globally, and we talk around climate change and what have you. But actually it's thinking about your specific local environment. So how can we improve the air quality within that local area, but perhaps through reducing congestion, and creating green spaces as well, which then are areas that help to improve well-being. So social value, the simplest way to think about it is sustainability through a local lens. There is a bit of legislation. I'm not going to go into loads of legislation about this, but just to make you aware that it can come across, social value can come across as very fluffy, but actually there is some hard legislation that sits around this, specifically around how government spend their money and other public bodies. So the key thing, especially if you're working in bids, to be aware of is something called PPN, which is Public Procurement Note 0620. And what this does is provide a framework for for those people working in government to ensure that the contracts that they procure deliver social value. So we all pay our taxes, and we all want our money to be spent in a right and appropriate way. And actually, those bids can have tenders can have up to 10% weighting towards social value. I have seen some bids where that weighting has been 30%. Is put over to social value. So it's really, really important to help us to win work. Those areas on the right just show the areas that PPN 0620 look at around social value, and there's lots of different things around that. There's also legislation in Scotland and Wales, but they use the term community benefits. So sometimes you'll hear social value, community benefits interchanged. So that's kind of from a sort of work-winning perspective. So why should we deliver social value? Well, as I said, we all pay our taxes, right? And we all want our money to be spent in the right way. We want the public pound to go further. So it's really important from that aspect. There's also around it can help to improve well-being and health, and there's a real link between health and wealth. And someone who comes from a much more deprived background is likely to die on average 7 years earlier than someone from a more affluent background. So being able to help raise their social status and improve social value within an area can literally help people live longer. It makes better business sense, especially for a company like Ground Control, where we have very strong values. People want to work for companies who take things like social value seriously and care about people and care about nature. So you get the best people working for you, and people want to work for businesses like that. And then our customers are asking for it. Sure, we want to meet our customer requirements. So from a business perspective, it's really important that we do social value. So how do we measure social value? You might have seen the news article that came out earlier this week around the TOMs, and that we've delivered £200,000 worth of social value, which is brilliant as a business. But how do we measure that? What does that all mean? So when you're looking at social value, first look at the input, that thing that you're going to do. So it might be that we carry out some volunteering work, and that helps to enhance the public park. And the output of that is you have a nice public park, which is brilliant. But the outcomes that then produces by having this public space is that it can then help improve people's health, because they've then got an area where they can sit and read a book, or go for a run, or just have a picnic, or what have you. So that can help to improve people's health. And those two things, those outcomes and outputs, are what we call the social value benefit. And then finally, you've got the impact. So people's health improving, but the impact on the local area or society is that actually you've then got less sick days being taken. You've got less pressure on the healthcare. You might have improved antisocial behaviour, because it's actually an area people respect, as opposed to perhaps being something that was not respected previously. And those things are things that we can measure. But it's worth noting that the level of that impact will really vary depending on the communities or the individuals that is benefiting from it. So, for example, if you're carrying out improving some public park in an area which is incredibly affluent, is well looked after already, the impact is going to be very minimal or zero. But if you're doing that in an area which has very little green space, the impact is going to be much higher. So I see James glanced and seen that you said, what are the TOMs? These are what the TOMs are. So we talk about TOMs, it stands for themes, outcomes and measures. It's publicly available information that we can use, and it's something that we've been using as a tool internally. So the themes, typically there's 4 themes that get looked at, which is employment and skills, community engagement, supporting local businesses, and the environment. And from those themes, there's a number of outcomes that we want to produce. This is just a selection of some of those outcomes. I won't read them out to you, but you can sort of see how that's what we want to be able to deliver through social value. And those outcomes can then be, there's then a number of measures and ways in which we can measure what those outcomes are likely to be. So, for example, for employment and skills, it may be the number of apprentices that we employ, or the percentage of local people. And again, supporting local businesses. Are we using local businesses? Are we using smaller businesses where that impact is likely to be more? And there's a number of different units that we can use to measure those. Now, what there is, don't take these numbers aren't exactly right, so don't start sort of writing them all down and running away. But these are just some examples of the values that we can then create. So this is all based on a number of different economic calculations, which I won't even go into, and I don't understand them fully myself, but they're all government approved. And essentially it's saying, well, if you employ a new local person, the benefit to that local community is actually works out about £20,000 a year. And if you spend, for every £1 that you spend, actually there's an additional 66 pence that goes into that local community. These will vary depending on where you are in the country, and the types of business that you use. But what that helps to do is give us a consistent value and say that by doing all of this, this is the value that we're bringing to that community. And that's what we've been using within our own business. And as I say, that's how we've been able to say that we've delivered £200,000 worth of additional value through what we do. Now, that financial proxy is just one element when we talk about social value. So we might say that we've delivered £50,000 worth of additional value, which is great, and people understand that, and our clients like that, because they've got a figure that they can wave and sort of say, look, this is what we've achieved. But it needs a bit of context, so that's where the quantitative information comes in. So yeah, we delivered £50,000 worth of value, but actually we've done that by employing 3 people who have been long-term unemployed, so it gives you a bit of context to where that money is coming from. But for me, the most important bit, and what I call the colour, is that qualitative information. So yes, we've created this financial figure. Yes, we can say how many people we've helped, but that bit that you can't actually put a figure on. So, for example, this is an actual quote from someone who's been helped, is having this job has made me more active, more sociable, and I'm really enthusiastic about my future. You can't put a figure on that, but that is the real outcome that's being delivered. So by having all of those pieces of information, we can talk about the full social value that we deliver, either as a company or as individuals, or on a particular project. So in order to deliver the right social value, we need to understand what the impacts are. So whether it's something that you're doing within your personal life or at work, we want to have the maximum impact. And a great way of doing that is using the indices of deprivation. This is the one for the UK. There are also one for Scotland and Wales. You can Google it. There's a link on here which you'll get to see. And basically it uses a heat map. So the darker areas are the areas of most deprivation, and the lighter are the more affluent areas. So if you go and have a look at this, you'll do what everyone does first and put in their home address and see exactly where they live and where the most affluent areas are. And if you go into this, you can then see the you can then do it generally, or you can go into specific areas. So things like unemployment, crime rates, access to healthcare, house prices, etc. So you can look at specific indices or just generally. So when, as a business, if we're wanting to go and help in any particular area, it might be going to work in a school, it might be to offer some other volunteerings, or going to do some help to improve some green spaces. We really want to be looking at those darker areas and going, actually, if we go and do it here, that's going to deliver much more benefit than if I did it elsewhere, and that will maximise the value. So it's a good tool to use if you want to sort of find out how and what types of activities you want to deliver. So what we're doing at Ground Control on social values is just some of the stuff to give you a taste on. There's lots more that we're doing out there. But obviously we've got we're supporting our communities through We Care. We've got the additional community day as part of our 50th anniversary. So we're providing you with that opportunity to go out and do some volunteering. And again, using those heat maps is a great way of working out where you want to do that. Our field team model can actually help us deliver more social value. If we're employing local small businesses, adds additional value, and if they're local businesses, it gives that added value, added social value. Employment apprentices and doing and improving skills, again, is adding that value, and also looking at diversity inclusion through things like the bandbox and many other areas that we signed up for. And finally, real living wage. So that's going over and above what you have to deliver legally on living wage. So all of those things help us to be deliver more social value as a company, and that's all kind of underlined by Evercare, which is the mechanism that we use for social value. So what can you do? So just going to throw things out there. If we have a think, firstly, from work side, what you think you can do in work that could potentially help us increase our social value as a business, and then we'll have a think about what we can do at home as well. So whilst you're pondering that, also think about those behaviours as well. So the eating responsibly or responsible food, the greening your finances, green spaces, and volunteering. So anyone got any thoughts about what we could do in the workplace? More apprentices, says Justine. Absolutely. Anyone else got any thoughts? Supporting local suppliers, at our events. Yeah, and Amanda, you're brilliant at doing this. But yeah, absolutely. It's not necessarily the big stuff that we procure, but if you're doing any sort of buying anything for the business, just sort of think about, actually, is there a local company that can do this? Is there a smaller company? And sometimes you can get a better or a different service. So do the themes, outcomes and measures, says Mark. Yeah, absolutely. Sourcing from sustainable sources, absolutely. Heather, well done. Big one for procurement, this. Doing that. Attending careers events and schools, and they're always great to do. Getting involved in schools and talking about what we're doing, getting the local people, young people involved, building social value into our contracts, absolutely. And holding everyone to account, yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of stuff that we do put in our contracts, and we need to make sure that we keep we deliver those. Working in partnership, yeah, with ex-offenders, absolutely. Yeah, that's a great thing to do. And again, those people who are described as being furthest from the jobs market are really great people that we can kind of link into and maximise the benefit that we deliver. Lots of great stuff coming through here. Partnering with our clients, yeah, as part of the tender, absolutely. Having those conversations with our clients and our customers about what we can do and how we can collaborate is really good. Supporting third sector projects, supporting our supply chain, yeah, all really good stuff. Really good stuff. And everyone can, large or small, can do that. So that's just some. You come up with far more than what I've got on there, but yeah. So you use your community days as well. That's something that everyone's got. So use your volunteering days. Use your community day to deliver additional value and tell us about it. Give us those good news stories. Let's hear about it. I use VCSEs for people who don't know what that is. That's voluntary community and social enterprises, because they can deliver great value. What about at home? What things can you do at home to help support that added value, helping to support your communities? Yeah, great suggestion, Jez. Be good to have a look at that. Local shop, yeah. Use your local shops, absolutely. It's a dead easy one to do. And if you can walk there, that's also going to be a benefit. Use local restaurants, not chains. Yeah, getting in early, educate our children and family. Absolutely, yeah. Start them young. I'm always harping on to my children about buying local. Support the Amex campaign in local shops. I don't know that one, Heather. Do you want to tell us about
that? Amex do it every year, American Express, don't they? They do it, I think it's in November, where they support local businesses and they really encourage you with your American Express card to shop locally. And there's benefits to you to doing that.
Oh, fab. Brilliant. New one. Local produce, yeah. If you live in the countryside, yeah. So eggs, yeah. Local farms, produce, yeah. A lot of places do things like I get a veg box. It's been delivered today. Get that delivered every Wednesday. That can be really helpful, supporting local farmers, local community projects. Absolutely. Yeah. So it looks like you've come up again lots more than what I have. So yeah. So it's local services. Use so again with your local services, it's not necessarily just shops, but use your local plumber or your local electrician or whoever it might be, and again use social enterprises that can, because they give additional stuff back to the communities. It could be that you could do some sort of long-term volunteering as opposed to a one-off. Get involved with the local schools, become a scout leader. Great, create those green spaces, but most importantly, just get involved. Buy your freight. Yeah, where your eggs today, Mark? Are you selling your eggs? It was handing out eggs to us yesterday in our meeting.
Yeah. So that wasn't a hint for you to pay for them, by the way. I'm just helping the community within our team. So yeah, but I had to put that when I see eggs in there.
Excellent. Brilliant. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of stuff that we can all do, but just making those small changes to our behaviours. So, and I'll have a look at the questions in a minute, but if you've got any other questions, still loads of great stuff going in. It's brilliant. If you've got any questions, put your hand up or ask whilst you're pondering that, and I'll also go back and have a look to see what else is in there. Just going to leave that up for a minute or two, some useful resources. From a business perspective more, the Social Value UK is really, really good. There's some great resources on there if you want to learn more about social value. Supply Chain Sustainability School, always give that a plug. Lots of stuff on there. And we've also got their courses on GC Learning. So I've just highlighted 4, which are really good. Oh, actually, I just realised not taken. Ignore the Sustainability and Groundworks one. I left that one on for the last presentation. And then finally, just let you know, we've got Alison coming up next week looking at zero spend, and we've got Olivia looking at greenwashing the week after. So, any questions from anyone? Just gonna, Jez, I don't know if you picked up any questions in the chat. I'm kind of partially looking at.
There was just one. Sorry, I'm just scrolling back upwards to get to it. You kind of touched on it. Someone asked you about Tom's, and then I've got it. Oh no, I'm going to just say Karen because I do not want to get your surname wrong. It says, how do we capture or find the data used in Tom's? Is it manually tracked at the moment? I think I know the answer, but I thought I would just check we're talking about the same document. I think we're manually doing it, aren't we?
We are, yeah. I mean, it's something we were looking at how we can get better at it. So yeah, a lot of the information. So much of it is things like volunteering and charitable funds. So we pick some of that stuff up through our finance systems, and a lot of it is through what comes to Amanda and Chloe. So we do pick that stuff up there. And there's a few other bits that we pick up elsewhere, but yeah, it's done manually. Chloe's got a list of people that she hounds on a monthly basis, but if you're aware of anything else, then do shout out. We want to get a lot better, because we are only touching the surface of what we deliver, but it's our kind of first sort of dipping our toe in the water, really. So yeah, the newsletter that got sent out this week had the link to the pages. So if you have a look on that, gives you the details of all the numbers. So yeah, you can see that there.
You have a rather random one.
Okay.
Justine wants to know, does giving blood in work time count?
Well, yeah, we've had a few conversations.
I mean, she hasn't said who she's giving the blood to. But
does GC not take enough of our blood as it is? We've got anything left to give away? Yes, if ground control are giving that time for you to do that, then yes, it does count. It does count.
Cool.
If you do it in your own time, no, it doesn't.
I haven't noticed anything else in the chat. You've answered most of it as you've gone along. I'll do my usual bit, which is we will edit, chop it up and load it on YouTube, and then put the link in the channel so people can share it. Last time we had about 65 people go and access. So those are 65 people that didn't attend, had it sent, and then went and looked. So it is definitely increasing the reach by doing that. It was a particularly popular one, I think, because people wanted to talk to the Octopus guys.
Brilliant. Good stuff. Okay. Well, there's no questions. Just thank you all for your time. And if you think about anything afterwards, do feel free to drop me a line, Teams message, or pick up the phone. It's one of my areas I'm most passionate about. So yeah, happy to talk about it.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you.